Good afternoon, I'm Earvin Solitario, and here's what's making news now. President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama is preparing to roll out the red carpet for Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his wife, Ms. Sophie Gregoire Trudeau. The Obamas will host the Trudeaus in the White House for a rare state dinner this coming Thursday evening. Beyond the glitz and glamour of the state visit, the two world leaders are expected to discuss climate change, border security, and the softwood lumber deal. The last time a Canadian Prime Minister was invited for a state dinner was in 1997, where President Bill Clinton invited former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien to the White House. Now staying south of the border now, as Barack Obama prepares to host the Prime Minister, the race to replace him will hit a fever pitch today. 4 states are voting in today's primaries. Democrats in Michigan and Mississippi will pick between Senator Bernie Sanders and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Moving over to the Republicans, voters in Michigan, Idaho, Mississippi, and Hawaii will pick between frontrunners Donald Trump, John Kasich, Marco Rubio, and Ted Cruz. Late yesterday, former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg announced he will not be running for the presidency, either for the Republicans or as an independent. The U.S. general election is in November. A Globe and Mail article reveals that a senior UN official has reached out to Canada for intelligence and logistical support to find the 200 Nigerian schoolgirls kidnapped by the terrorist group Boko Haram. UN Population Fund Director Babatunde Osotimehin hopes that the new Canadian government will re-energize the campaign to find the missing schoolgirls. The hashtag #BringBackOurGirls campaign began 2 years ago when the girls were initially kidnapped. Moving to Turkey now, human rights activists and several European leaders raised their concerns on Turkey's move to seize several media outlets. The Turkish government seized the ownership of the country's largest opposition media, a move many believe is aimed to silence the government's critic. Leaders of Belgium, France, and Luxembourg publicly made critical remarks on this issue, while leaders of the UK and the European Union were pretty low-key on their condemnation. The UK fears that Turkey might back away on a significant refugee plan by the European Union signed yesterday. Now moving over to today's business headlines with Andrew Escobar.
Thanks, Earvin. Canadian retailer Danier Leather will be having store closing sales beginning on Tuesday. The retailer entered insolvency last month as they were trying to find a buyer. Liquidators say that all 76 stores across Canada will be receiving new shipments from their warehouse and will also be selling the store's light fixtures, furniture, and equipment. Canada Post has suspended the delivery service for an entire neighborhood due to roaming dogs. A neighborhood in the city of Windsor must now pick up their mail at the downtown post office due to a resident who allows 3 large dogs to roam without a leash. City of Windsor Licensing Commissioner Valerie Critchley said the dog owner has been charged with allowing dogs to roam off private property without a leash and faces a fine up to $645 for each of the 3 charges if upheld in court. The LCBO denied a report Monday that it will be selling more than 200 stores. Instead of selling the stores, they will be leasing them. LCBO spokesperson Christine Bujold said in a statement, LCBO only sells existing board-owned stores when we replace them with new and larger stores in higher traffic retail locations. The company acknowledged that they posted a proposal for as-needed real estate brokerage services, but vowed to make the request clearer. Out of 654 stores, LCBO owns 228, while the remaining 426 stores are leased. Donald Trump's voicemail has allegedly been hacked by some members of the hacking group Anonymous. On Thursday morning, Gawker received an email which allegedly contained recordings which seemed to be from Donald Trump's voicemail inbox. Among the recordings were some messages left by notable celebrities, including New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady and MSNBC's Joe Scarborough and Tamron Hall. Although the hackers didn't really expose any major dirt on Trump, it's still surprising that the anonymous hacking group can find their way into the voicemail of a presidential candidate. And now, a self-dubbed Yelp for People app launched today for iOS. People, spelled with 2 E's, is now available for download for free for iPhones and iPads. The app was created by 2 friends in Calgary, Alberta, and allows users to rate other users in 3 categories: professional, personal, and romantic. The creators say that the app allows you to better choose who you hire, do business with, date, become your neighbors/roommates, landlords or tenants, and watch, teach, and care for your children. The app has caused outrage from critics who saw its potential for abuse and as a platform for bullying, including American model Christine Teigen, who said that the app can literally ruin lives. People is available through iTunes today, while an Android version is still on its way. Maria Sharapova held a press conference on Monday and admitted to testing positive for a banned substance at the Australia Open in January. Many of her sponsors, including Nike and Porsche, acted quickly by distancing themselves from the athlete. Porsche said they postponed their future activities with Sharapova, while Nike has suspended its relationship with her, and Tag Heuer has completely cut ties with the tennis star. Ms. Sharapova is one of the highest paid female athletes, with earnings over $30 million from winnings and endorsements. With more on the fallout of Sharapova, let's head over to Johanna Tucker with your sports headlines.
Thanks, Andrew. Yay, sports. Continuing with Sharapova, the $30 million contract tennis player announced yesterday that she failed a drug test for the Australian Open. Here's what she had to say.
Well, the medicine is called mildronate, and the substance, it has another name of meldonium. And I received a letter on December 22nd from WADA, an email with the changes happening for next year, as well as reporting your whereabouts, and a link to a button where you can press to see the prohibited items for 2016, and I did not look at that list.
Meldonium was banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency on January 1st. Sharapova said that she is the only one who can take responsibility for her actions because it's her body. Sharapova isn't the only athlete testing positive on drug tests lately. 2 Russian speed skaters' drug tests have come back positive in a report this morning. 2014 Olympic champion Semyon Elistrov and world champion skater Pavel Kalushnikov both tested positive for meldonium, the same drug as Sharapova. Their reasons for taking the drug and the consequences are still unknown. The Buffalo Sabres edged the Toronto Maple Leafs in a shootout 4-3 yesterday night at the Air Canada Centre. Sam Reinhart scored the shootout winner to make Buffalo undefeated in both games the two clubs have played this season. Good plays were made by the Shoshnikov, Kadri, and Komarov lineup, who worked together to snag the Leafs the opening goal before the 1-minute mark. The Leafs will take on the New York Islanders tomorrow night on home turf at the Air Canada Centre at 7. For your NHL roundup, the Boston Bruins earned a wild 5-4 win over the Florida Panthers in overtime yesterday. The Bruins, who also got 2 goals from Patrice Bergeron, blew a 4-1 lead when Lee Stempniak scored with 1 minute left in overtime for his 17th score of the season. The San Jose Sharks took a 2-1 win in overtime to beat the Calgary Flames. Brent Burns set up the goal and also scored his 24th of the season early in the first period. The Colorado Avalanche beat the Arizona Coyotes 3-1 with a goal and an assist by Matt Duchene and 37 saves by Semyon Varlamov. Los Angeles Kings cruised to a 5-1 victory over the Vancouver Canucks with 2 third-period goals by Jeff Carter and 1 by Vinny Lecavalier. A Nashville jury awarded sports anchor Erin Andrews $55 million in her lawsuit against a stalker. The stalker took a nude video of Andrews in 2008 from the hotel room beside her that went viral. The stalker will pay 51% of the awarded money, and the Nashville Marriott Hotel will be forced to pay the remaining $27 million of the lawsuit. The Fox News sports anchor testified for 2 days, saying she experienced serious mental injury, including depression, crying spells, and sleeplessness after the incident. Right now, the Raptors are on track to set franchise records for the 3rd season in a row. Currently sitting at 41 wins and 20 losses, their overall standings are 2nd in the Eastern Conference. However, the team has allowed 535 three-pointers this season, placing them 16th in the league defensively. The Raptors will take on the Brooklyn Nets tonight at the Air Canada Centre at 7:30. Now bringing your sports news from the courts to the great outdoors. The Canmore Nordic Centre in Alberta is hosting the final World Cup competition for the cross-country skiing season. The world's best cross-country skiers are gathering in Canmore this week to compete in the first International World Cup event outside of Europe. Alberta says it's the largest event they've hosted in the province since the Winter Olympics in 1988. That's a wrap for sports. Let's head back to Earvin in the studio for some more news updates.
Thanks, Joanna. Well, the controversial terror bill tabled by the Harper government was effectively used according to a Senate report. According to Canada's top spy Michael Coulombe, CSIS agents used the law 24 times since last fall to disrupt suspected terrorist threats. Personal liberty activists raised concern on the level of surveillance the bill gives to law enforcers. The Liberal government plans on amending the law to, quote, guarantee that all Canadian security intelligence services warrants respect of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Well, today marks the second-year anniversary of Malaysian Airlines flight MH370's mysterious disappearance. 2 years ago today, the world was mystified when the passenger jetliner carrying 239 souls mysteriously disappeared off radar. Parts of the plane washed ashore on Reunion Island in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Chinese parents rejoice. The Chinese government announced today that they are lifting the one-child policy to allow parents to have a maximum of 2 kids. China's controversial one-child policy was introduced in the 70s to control the country's booming population. However, Chinese National Health Director Li Bin says the full relaxation of the laws won't happen anytime soon. Well, moving over to happier baby news, did you see the Prime Minister cuddling with Toronto's new panda babies? Well, our SkedLine crew got to visit those cute little creatures. Here's Emily with a report.
Hi, I'm Emily Bongelli, and today we're here at the Toronto Zoo to give you an inside exclusive look at the Toronto Panda Cubs. They've been inside with their mother today, who's just chomping down on bamboo. The cubs have been rolling around and napping, and they're just the cutest fuzzy things we've ever seen. Take a look. So there you have it, cute as can be.
Thanks, Emily, and we're not stopping there with the panda news. Our reporter Zhang Li has a brief history on Toronto's beloved pandas on skedline.com. Now to entertainment news, where I Hear a Bear is actually nominated for an MTV award. Brian?
That's right, Earvin. The bear from The Revenant is nominated for the coveted MTV Golden Popcorn Award. I'm Brian Aguilar, and here are the latest in the world of entertainment. As I mentioned, the nominees for the MTV Movie Awards have been announced today. Star Wars: The Force Awakens led the movies with most nods with 11, including Movie of the Year, Best Villain, and Best Female Performance by Daisy Ridley. Deadpool, which has grossed more than $300 million domestically, follows Star Wars with 8 nominations, including 5 for Ryan Reynolds, who is nominated for Best Male Performance, Best Comedic Performance, and Best Action Performance. Oscar Best Picture spotlight was snubbed in the Movie of the Year award. Best Actor Leonardo DiCaprio has a chance to add a Golden Popcorn trophy to his award shelf, as he is nominated for Best Male Performance and Best Fight with a CGI Bear in The Revenant. Fans can start voting for their favorites at movieawards.mtv.com until March 20. The 25th edition of the MTV Movie Awards will be hosted by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart on April 10th. Speaking of movies, the Harry Potter prequel will be released in November, and J.K. Rowling wrote new stories to serve as a foundation for the movie. Rowling has launched a 4-part series called Magic in North America that will serve as a backstory for the upcoming film Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The first installment of the series, entitled History of Magic in North America, has been released today on Pottermore. It examines the early days of the magical community in North America and how witches and wizards used magic before they adopted wands. In the next 3 days, a story will be released on Pottermore at 9 a.m. Eastern. The titles of the other series include 17th Century and Beyond, Rappaport's Law, and 1920s Wizarding America. Wizarding fans in North America will also learn more about the wizarding school in the continent called Ilvermorny, which was revealed in January. From movies to music, fans of American singer-songwriter Bob Dylan will get a chance to see him live. Dylan has announced a summer tour in support of his new upcoming album, Fallen Angels. It is a follow-up to last year's Shadows in the Night, an LP of Frank Sinatra covers. Dylan and his band will kick off the U.S. tour on June 4th in Woodinville, Washington. The 27-leg tour will conclude on July 17th in New Hampshire. The tour will feature Mavis Staples as the opening act. According to Dylan's site, all fans that will purchase tickets to the tour, with the exception of Indianapolis and Boston, will get a redemption code to receive a CD copy of the new album. Fallen Angels will be released on May 20th. Meanwhile, fans of the band AC/DC received some bad news on Monday. AC/DC is postponing the rest of their U.S. tour after the band's lead singer was told by doctors he could risk a total hearing loss if he continues the tour. Brian Johnson, the band's lead singer since 1980, received support from fans. In his first record with the band Back in Black, it became the second best-selling album of all time behind Michael Jackson's Thriller. In a statement, the band said that they are forced to reschedule the 10 upcoming dates on the U.S. leg tour of the Rock or Bust World Tour. It said that they would be made up later this year. Many fans are disappointed because the band also announced in the statement that the tour will continue with a guest vocalist. The band kicked off their European leg of the tour this summer. Moving on to other stories, the date of the civil trial on the privacy lawsuit filed by former pro wrestler Hulk Hogan against Gawker has begun in Florida. Testifying yesterday, Hogan said that he was humiliated by the publication of the video showing him having sex with his then best friend's wife. He also said that he didn't authorize the tape to be made or authorize Gawker to publish it. Hogan is suing Gawker for $100 million in damages for emotional distress and invasion of privacy. Meanwhile, Gawker said that the publication of the video was a legitimate scoop because Hogan has been open about his sex life in public forums such as radio shows and thus protected by the First Amendment. From one wrestling star to another, Bret the Hitman Hart announced at a news conference on Monday that he is cancer-free after receiving a robotic prostatectomy on February. The wrestler disclosed his cancer diagnosis on social media last month. Hart said he was facing a six-month recovery period with minimal physical activity. Hart, who gained popularity in the 80s and the 90s in the World Wrestling Federation, has had serious issues before. He suffered a stroke in 2002 that left him paralyzed but successfully recovered. The Hitman expects that his condition will prompt men to get tested. An estimated 4,100 Canadian men died due to prostate cancer last year. Before I go, I just want to give a quick shout out to my mom as today's International Women's Day. Just want to thank you for everything you've done. You're the strongest woman I know. And those are the latest from the world of entertainment. I'm Brian Aguilar. Back to you, Earvin.
Thanks, Brian. Well, TV watchers last Sunday were pretty annoyed at the new Amber Alert system. Last Sunday, the OPP issued a province-wide Amber Alert on TV that disturbed regular programming. People immediately took to Twitter to voice their frustration with the interruption. The Amber Alert ended when the child was safely found an hour later. The OPP was disappointed in how the public acted. Well, Drake might be running through the six with his woes, but many are wondering if John Tory is running with him. John Tory's signature transit plan, SmartTrack, is in hot waters, as Toronto City Council's executive committee is expected to pick a transit plan that would drastically decrease Tory's SmartTrack. During the past mayoral election, Tory promised a new surface subway that would span 53 kilometers and have 15 stops. The executive committee is expected to discuss the issue tomorrow, 9:30 at City Hall. While staying on local news, Humber College is hosting an information session on stem cell donation. For more on this story, let's go to Sabrina and Luke.
I would have to say first and foremost my mom. She's obviously...
Hello, I'm Sabrina Ruda here at Humber College Lakeshore campus for the One Match Stem Cell event. Humber is partnering with Canadian Blood Services to give students the opportunity to find out about their blood type.
We're looking for donors, stem cell donors who can actually donate their stem cells, and they'll be put into a pool of other stem cell donors so that if anyone who is in need of a stem cell can be found compatible with those, so they'll be called.
I think that it's important because like a lot of people do need blood, a lot of people I know stem cell research is really growing, and so it's nice to be able to help people through that.
But it's important to know because, you know, for giving blood or receiving blood or whatever, and just for knowing, you know, just for my own knowledge, just because I've always been curious, like I said.
I think it's a good way to give back to people because we've been given so much. And I think it's just such a simple procedure and it doesn't require much. It's a good way and an easy way to just be able to help out.
And the chances of someone being called is just 0.01% because a person can only donate within their ethnicity. Like if you're Australian and you want to donate to someone who's German, you can do that.
Okay, perfect. You must be between the ages of 17 and 35 in order to register, and can visit blood.ca/stem cells for more information. Sabrina Ruda, skedline.com.
Thanks, Sabrina. Well, today marks the International Women's Day, a day when we celebrate the trailblazer who paved the way for the ongoing struggle to reach gender equality. Prime Minister Trudeau released a statement today saying we shouldn't be afraid to use the word feminist. Also, his female cabinet members took over his Twitter account explaining the government's pledge for parity. Also, the first female leader of the opposition, Rona Ambrose, tweeted out female trailblazers in Canadian politics. It included Foreign Affairs Minister Flora MacDonald and Ellen Fairclough, the first female cabinet minister and was acting prime minister. We asked Humber students on which woman inspires them. Now here's a report.
I would have to say first and foremost my mom. She's obviously shaped me to be the man that I am today, taught me how to be a gentleman, and pushes me to do the best I can do, I guess, at school and in life. And I would have to say second, my little sister. She inspires me to be the person that I guess she thinks I am, and I have to be a good role model to her.
My mom, because she was a single mother most of my life, and she just did everything for me, and she raised me right. And she's just really empowering. Like, she's always believing in me, and she's always telling me, like, you can do whatever you want, and believing in me like that. So I think that's really special.
My art teacher in high school, Miss Tracy Aylesworth, she really helped me out with post-secondary now with creative thinking and time management. Thank you for getting me where I am now and succeeding in post-secondary.
My mom, that would be my mom. So, because I like her, of course, it's my mom. She did everything for me. My dad, I don't know, but mom was there since I was born. So, of course, I love her. That's about it. But she knows I love her, but I will express it and I'll buy her something. Yes.
My mom inspires me the most. Well, she taught me everything, right? From the walking to like how do you, like everything, even if it's cooking or teaching others or how do you get strong, caring, loving, and everything. Yeah. So I think that's the best thing that, in my life. Yeah.
So my mother inspires me because she's taken care of me since I was a child, motivated me to do everything that I've wanted to do, and she supports me throughout all the decisions I make. So, I don't know, it seems like the right thing to do.
The woman that inspires me is my friend Whitney, because she is a mom and she's in college right now, and she's doing awesome in school and getting great grades while taking care of her son. Being awesome, yeah.
Well, those are very inspiring, but I want to give a special shout out to my mom for inspiring me and showing me what true strength is. Now to Elena with the weather.
Thanks, Earvin.
Thanks. The temperatures outside are starting to get a bit warmer this week, which means that snow on the ground is going to start to melt, causing some damp conditions. So if you want to avoid that mud, make sure you put on some rain boots. The high today is going to be 13 with a low of 6, and with partly cloudy skies and a slight chance of showers. Sadie Perfetto has more.
Thanks, Elena. This will be a much milder week as temperatures begin to climb to a spring-like feel. We'll hit double digits throughout the GTA with cooler temperatures in Scarborough and Toronto, and as we move west towards Mississauga and Milton, we could see temperatures climb as high as 16. Today will remain mostly cloudy with some sunny breaks. Tomorrow we'll hit a high of 17 and a low of 9. We're going to see some spotty showers throughout the day, so make sure you have an umbrella on hand. Showers will continue into Thursday with a high of 11 and a low of 2. Moving into the weekend, we'll see some sun on Friday with a high of 9 and a low of 2. As we continue into the weekend, Saturday will bring us some more sun with some cloudy breaks, a high of 13 and a low of 4. So make sure you make the most of that sun on Saturday. Into Sunday, we're going to see that rain again with a milder high of 7 and a low of 5. Those showers will continue into the beginning of next week. That's it for your 5-day forecast. Now back to Earvin in the studio.
Thanks, Sadie, and that's your news now on Tuesday, March the 8th. I'm Earvin Solitario. From everyone here at SkedLIVE, bye for now.